Konnichiwa, party peeps. MangaMan here with a very special video. Today we are going to be looking at a Lupin fan game created by, and excuse me if I'm mispronouncing this, Alexis Royce. I actually met Alexis at Anime Midwest this past year and got to talking a lot about Lupin. And she is a huge Lupin fan as myself, and gave me this special little postcard for her fan made game. And I thought I would, being the Lupin content connoisseur on YouTube, that I would post a video on my playthrough of her fan game. It's in the style of a visual novel, so why don't we check it out? And I will leave a link in the description box below for Alexis's games. She's got actually a whole lot of them. And all I can do is kudos to her on doing this. She drew all the artwork, got it all in this nice watercolor style. So let's check this out. I'm playing the browser version. Ooh. Let's change that. Okay. Let's have that be there, that be there, and that be there. It's cool that it looks like there are voices in this. Let's see what that's about. Alright. This is contain free software under a number of licenses. Version 1.0. Alright. Excuse me while I just check my audio levels. It's been years since I've done any Let's Plays, if anyone remembers the old Matanui Let's Play, which I never finished, and I might go back to one of these days. So with that all being said, let's check this out. I don't know who's speaking this one, so... back in the old days, ladies had something called a dance card. I know this because my granddad had a whole drawer full of things. Okay, this must be Lupin. Sometimes they were actual cards, sometimes they were these fancy little booklets, or bent into play, bands, or other knickknacks. Sometimes there'd be a little golf pencil tied to it, or a ribbon, so a lady could write them on a bracelet around her wrist. The folks who ran those sorts of fancy shindigs would give them to guests at the start of the night. And the good dance cards would be like a little list, a quick synopsis of the dances that they were going to be played. Gentlemen would approach a lady, and they had to actually ask to the book a dance. And they had to actually ask to book a dance. Folks could get smart about it. You good at waltzing? Actually, excuse me one moment. I am so sorry. I need to change something in my audio settings. Hearing myself is fine, but I don't like the echo, so I'm going to monitor off. No, I want that on. No. This one? Monitor off. Okay, there we go. Alright, that's better. Now I can hear myself better. Snag a waltz with a cutie and a presser. But better move quick, or some other guys would crowd in, write their names down next to all the dances, and before you knew it, her dance cards all fold up. Okay, that's pretty crazy, come to think of it, and I wonder if that's actually what it was a thing back in the royal court days in France. Sifting through the drawer of Granddad's dance cards wasn't the best way to get to know his old aliases, finding the repeat names. Some repeats were from targets he chased, but when Granddad found an alias he liked, he tended to use it again. The names of ladies tended to repeat too, sometimes as an alias, but more often at the top of the cards, previous owners. When a lady's name could be found on multiple cards, it could tell that he liked her even more. And when dance cards filled with strike-throughs showed up, I could tell that those were the ladies he liked the best. The names of dozens of slow-witted men could be crossed out, replaced by one of my grandfather's aliases. He had charmed and pilfered the sort of treasure that made my chest sigh, as I imagined the rustling of skirts and the swaying of the music, the smirks and little giggles as he stole dance after dance away from rival suitors. Gems could be sold, paintings auctioned off, and Granddad frequently made his money by ransoming family heirlooms back to rich folks. But these dances were locked tightly in the vault of his heart. Nobody could ever reclaim them from him. He was Arsène Lupin. He was a master of a signature craft, that of lovely borrowing valuables. And when it came to valuables, hearts were his favorite. I am Lupin III. I uphold the family business. And I'm inclined to agree with Granddad. I'll use every second of my life that I can to steal, to fill it all up with memories and experiences twice as good as anyone in my family. I'll leave behind a legacy that others can pore over with twice the yearning and joy that I felt reading up on Granddad. I don't have a single second to spare. Lupin! And I certainly don't have a second to spare on Inspector Zenigata. But this is really cool. It's not too often that the, official source material Lupin would ever bring up much about his granddad. He had a fondness for him, but he didn't like to be compared to him in a lot of the different media. This is a nice little touch, and a good way to bring in the, origins of Lupin with Arsène Lupin I. The guy's got a legacy of his own to maintain, and he's dedicated that I'm the collar of the century. He's not wrong. Any detective would be honored to catch Master Thief Lupin III. Yeah, I can understand wanting to outdo your ancestors, but I don't have any sympathy, I'm afraid. I'm a big fan of liberation, you see. Liberating objects from their owners, liberating myself from prison, that kind of thing. But Pop Zenigata would much rather see me locked up tight in a prison cell. I'd agree to disagree, but he's not exactly big on compromise. He's persistent, and he learns from his mistakes. Even death won't stop him. Yeah, that's happened numerous times where Lupin died. And sometimes when I close my eyes, I swear I can still hear the clink of cuffs buried deep in my subconscious. Again, this is a fair game, and I will say right off the bat, this definitely is playing off of the chemistry, you could say, between Lupin and Zenigata. And while I don't really myself see that much of a romantic feelings between the two, I feel that it's more of like a healthy friendship and rivalry. But I am not one to judge, and I'm not one to dissuade anyone from these type of contents. And plus, this is pretty good. I'm really liking this so far, and let's have some fun. It's not all bad, having someone to keep you on your toes. And his catch rate is pretty much 0.0001% of the time, so it's no problem. Usually. Like, I can't get a look at this beautiful watercolor artwork. She's got, like, the shading down. Like, I've tried watercolor paints before, like years and years ago, and it is very difficult to control how the watercolors will bleed into the paper. And maybe I was just not using the right type of paper, but my god, she is very good at her craft. Maybe if I try... No. Son of a bitch! Zenigata is busy nailing a large piece of wood to the door. This train is an antique, and I plan to drive away on it in style. But Pops pulled a switcheroo on me, and I was filled with 100 surprisingly loyal guards. He's so annoying. Why would one person want to work with him, let alone 100? That is true. Zenigata often is given a huge, like how much is he being paid to hunt Lupin? Because he gets a huge army of manpower in a lot of the specials and even on a lot of the episodes. It's astonishing how much they're being paid. I guess it's easy to forget, a couple of people actually admire the guy. The greater criminal element views him as something of a scourge, and his superiors have lost their patience with him. They pay old Pops peanuts, and hope that he quits about as much as I do. Okay, well, there goes my theory on the payroll. I mean, it's gotta be loyalty then, because if he's being paid very little, and we've seen a lot where Pops will just, oh, there's a scrolling function. Oh, that's cool. So instead of clicking, I can just scroll with my mouse to scroll through the text. I should be careful of that, though, so I don't accidentally scroll through too much of the game. But yeah, we'll often see his favorite food choice being just simple ramen cup noodles. It's gotta be a nightmare to try to wrangle someone that obsessed and foolhardy. The public loves to read about the driven, rogue crime fighter fighting all that crime. But when Pops veers another police cruiser straight into the Seine because he can't keep up with my excellent driving, who do you think handles that mess? Seriously, who handles that? I never really bothered to think about it. But I assume that it's his superiors and other officers, right? Why shouldn't they hate him? But hey, there's no accounting for taste. And like I said, he's rounded up about 100 of those someones and stuffed them right into my train. Lemmings must just love to be told where to run, so I guess they've developed a soft spot for Pops. And now he's nailing the door shut, with him inside, of course. Bellowing with laughter the whole while. He's in such an obnoxiously good mood. My fingers are already setting to work on all these chains and cuffs. Most of them should be really easy to slip out of, but a couple of them are some serious work. Pops must have invented them himself. I could get out of them easy, if I still had my tools on me. Sadly, those were among the first things Pop pilfered during the initial search. What a thief. I start to inch a foot over to Pops. If I take my shoe off, I could grab something from his coat pocket. Lockpicks would be best, but I think he might have the keys in. Nope. He's all over the place, and he keeps sneaking smug little peeks over at me. Can't do it now, not with him noticing. And force isn't an option. Not that I couldn't take him on. I'm just at a disadvantage physically in this confined space. I could take all his guys at once if I really wanted to. Pops is just kind of okay at grappling. His judo throws are even a bit on the scary side. You know, if you're scared of stuff like that. I'm good at escaping and dodging, but there's not much room for either. And even if I snatched up all his keys, I'd need Pops to be good at distracting long enough to get the bonds open. but he took all my little distraction tools too. I've got you now, Lupin. Yeah, it's been years since I've done a Zenigata voice. Looks like someone's done destroying the handcrafted mahogany paneling in this 100-year-old train. You thought that this was gonna be your little private train, but now your one-way ride to an all-expenses-paid vacation to Sing Sing. Wow, Pops! You're right, I didn't expect you to have so many friends. When it comes to you, Lupin, everyone's happy to chip in. You're real popular, you know. Maybe not as popular as me when I bring the good news back to the department head, though. Well, you roll the dice long enough, you're bound to get 7s eventually. Luck ain't a factor. I kept my ear to the ground and kept my eyes peeled, and I pulled in the legwork. This time it was you who couldn't keep up with me. Cheer up! You still get to enjoy the train and everything. Oh yeah, this is exactly the person I'd hoped to be riding with. I mean, he's about as leggy as my preferred date. But other than that, 0 similarities. He settles into the seat opposite from me. So, you might as well get real cozy over there. Well, I wouldn't want to get too cozy. After all, you got to get off early. You're not getting off until I've given the order. Ooh, how forward of you. Huh? Should have expected you to have a thing for control. But no promises, Pop. I'm willing to try anything once, but I don't think I could respect you as a That's not what I meant, and you know it. We got a long ride ahead of us, and I'm not taking my eyes off you, so don't you try and humiliate me, or I'll gag you. Okay, so you're not into humiliation, but you are into gags. Noted. Lupin! I wonder. Maybe I don't need any smoke bombs or loud tricks to distract Pop. I mean, look at him. It's obvious, you know. He's had it bad for me forever. Can you blame him? Can you blame him? I'm a legend. Of course he's smitten. What, did you think I didn't know? Actually, I'm shocked that more of the people who chase me aren't looking to snuggle up. I was telling Jigen, my partner, that the other day. He said that not everyone is into monkey-faced assholes. Which I thought was quite cold to say to his monkey-faced asshole. But that's besides the point. Pops has feelings for me. Feelings that drove him all the way around the world several times. Yeah, this is where the fan fiction comes into play, but yeah, still having fun here. Has the man ever even been in a relationship? Actually, there were a few times where it kind of teetered on that in several of the specials and movies, but no. Hasn't had one relationship. Permanent, that is. I could have sworn that he canceled an engagement or something to chase me. Well, it may sound harsh, but I can't be blamed for that. Pops is a grown man of the law, and he has to take responsibility for his actions and choices. I, on the other hand, am a grown man and an outlaw, which is precisely why I don't have to take responsibility for a single thing. I can just run from it. Running from your problems is a lot more fun than people make it out to be. I just gotta deal with him right now, and then I can get back to running. Chain some smooth talk together, use my words to get his heart throbbing, and you know, maybe get a different organ throbbing too. Okay. And he won't even be able to look me in the eye. You know, maybe this doesn't have to be such a bad afternoon after all. There was supposed to be someone else in Pop's seat, but maybe she can be here in spirit. Talking about Fujiko. All my experience getting seduced by Fujiko should come in handy now. Pops has gotten himself back under control. Well, we can't have that now, can we? Now, Pops, prepare yourself for the smooth erotic genius that is the great Lupin. Alright, now the game part of this visual novel comes into play. Let's see. Hey baby, come here often. You must be exhausted. You've been running through my mind all day. Titanic? Alright, I might try a number of these options, but I know it's probably the middle one, but I want to see what this is. Sorry, I guess that's not much of an icebreaker. Ooh. Now, before I had selected Titanic as an answer, which resulted in this funny delivery. Oh, also, I changed my camera because I noticed that I was covering up Lupin's beautiful portrait spots, and I didn't want to do that. So, fix that error as well. When we last left off, Lupin was trying to seduce Zenigata so that he could find an opportunity to escape from captivity. He started off with Titanic, but as Lupin says here, sorry, I guess that's not much of an icebreaker. Over 1,500 people died, Lupin. Show some respect. Oops. Guess this will be harder than I thought. What's going on? Well, hi! The full game is a little too big to play in your browser, so you'll have to continue the rest of it on your computer. You can scroll down on this page to download it. Thanks for playing! Catch you later! Ah, okay. Let's see if I can get that working. Excuse me a moment. Well, anyway, folks, that's all that we have time for today. I'll probably be doing more of these videos and finishing up this quick little fan game. Let me know if you played it, what your thoughts are at the comment section below. And until next time, Lupin fans, catch you later.